Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. This replay, submitted by Highfly15, yes, that Highfly15, features a platoon of two T49s, the other one driven by circumflexors, and an E50M driven by snooze. And check out chat. Enemy 121 driver, even before the game has started, there he goes, is calling Platoon 1 an epic noob stat padder retard platoon. Stat padders. You know, those are bold words coming from somebody who's played almost 3,000 games in the Hellcat and almost 2,000 games in the T-18 tank destroyer. I suspect that this fella, and my suspicions are borne out when you see what he does and what he says during the course of this game, but I suspect he must have had his irony glands surgically removed at birth. You know, when you've played that many games in the Hellcat and the T-18, you really shouldn't be calling anybody else a stat padder. But even if it were true, and in his case it definitely is true, being a stat padder doesn't make you a bad person, it just makes you a stat padder. No, his behaviour and performance throughout the course of this game is what makes him a bad person. Observe his current location on the map. He's on the A line, all the way at the back of the map. If he was any further back, he'd be on Himmelsdorf, which makes it particularly ironic that he spends the rest of the game calling Circon and Highflyer in the T-49 camping noobs. All said without a single trace of irony from a guy who actually spent the entire game up till now further back than the starting location. watched everybody around him die and then abandoned the flank that he was on to the enemy so that he could run to the other end of the back of the map. All the while loudly and vocally criticising the two smallest tanks on his team, which are also the two furthest forward tanks on his team, for being camping noobs. And yes, in case you were wondering, that little shot which just took a third of Highflyer's health off his T-49 was from our little friend in the 121, while he was scuttling from one end of the back of the map to another hiding place over on the other end of the back of the map. He never leaves the A line throughout this entire game, all the while complaining that Platoon 1 are stat padding camping noobs. The man possesses no sense of irony whatsoever. He is in fact a massive arsehole. So, what can we learn from watching this replay? Well, obviously, multiplayer gaming is where arseholes live, and secondly, if you've played 4,000 games in the T-18 tank destroyer and the Hellcat, you need bollocks the size of basketballs and absolutely no sense of irony whatsoever if you're going to accuse other people of being stat padders and spend the entire game in a top-tier medium tank so far at the back of the map that you may as well be on Himmelsdorf for all the difference you're making, and then start accusing the two tanks furthest forward out of your entire team of being camping noobs. And it really doesn't help your case when you start shooting at your own team either. Verdict? Yep, he's an arsehole. I never really showcase low-tier games, do I? I mean, you know, seriously low, except for when I'm out seal clubbing in the Panzer 2J, which I don't do very often, because one, it's expensive, two, and it's not fair. But you never really see very, very low-tier battles on my World of Tanks channel, and there's a good reason for that. They're terrible. Look at this. This was sent in by Red17, by the way. He's in a T26. He plays World of Tanks originally on the Xbox 360. He's just started playing the PC version. He'd be the first to admit he doesn't really have any idea what he's doing. But he'd probably be the only person on his team who'd admit it. It looks like they've got one professional seal clubber in a T-18 on the enemy team. And other than that, everybody is hopeless. Low-tier games. I know everybody's fond of saying that the players are just as bad at tier 10 as they are at tier 2. It's not true. It really, really isn't. You do get much better, well, I'm not necessarily going to say much better gameplay, but you do get much better players most of the time in the higher tier battles. Down here at tier 2, some of these guys could only have been playing the game for an hour, if that. And so you really shouldn't expect much, but it's as if sometimes it's as if common sense, you know, why do they call it common sense? There's nothing common about it. Not when you're watching what's going on in a low-tier World of Tanks game. Get a load of some of this. Red 17 sent this in for a good reason. You'll see why at the end of the game. But it was while watching this replay. I was going to use just the last couple of seconds of the replay for a why you have to be mad clip. But as I'm watching the game develop, I was just appalled. Look at that. The guy's just driven straight in. Oh, that T-Key has just drowned himself. And then these T-18s and a Mark 6C just have their own little game. It's watching a low-tier game develop is like picking at a wound. It's one of those things that you know you shouldn't do it. You know it's not going to be good for you, but you have a sort of sick fascination in seeing where it's going to go. Look at these clowns. One T-18 has gotten himself in the water. He's trying to get out. The other T-18 isn't letting him. And here comes the Mark 6C. Oh, he's going to get stuck in as well. They're just having their own little... There's Red 17's T-26, by the way. He's just stopped to... What the hell are you doing? Guys, stop drowning. Seriously. Look at this. We need the Benny Hill Show theme music at this point. It's just another day in Tier 2 on Malinovka. Do you ever wonder what's going through their minds? What can they possibly be thinking? The enemy are over there, but no, got better things to do. Look at these two. The Mark 6C and the T-18. And the T-18 has the 75mm howitzer, by the way. If this comes down to a fight, the T-18 is not going to lose. There's a reason why the T-18 is the seal clubbing Tier 2 machine of choice. And, you know, he's warning this guy. And it's like watching a couple of bullies starting a fight in the playground. They sort of shove each other around a bit, but nobody wants to be the one to fire the first shot until one of them fires the first shot, and then don't pick fights with T-18 tank destroyers. Not unless you're sure you're going to win. Well, meanwhile, while the first T-18 is working out his daddy issues, the second T-18 and Red 17's T-26, as well as a Panzer, have made it into the enemy base, and they've just nailed what they thought was the last defender. Yeah, newsflash, it isn't. They started to cap. Let's just pan it around up here. Get up to the cap circle. They've still got a couple of base campers who are there to head off, more through luck than judgment, anybody who comes around the flank to try... Oh, look at this T-18. This is amazing. This enemy T-18 tank destroyer just got spotted over there. Where is he shooting? His first shot went right between those two. And now he's shooting in the air. I mean, what is he doing? It just doesn't make any sense at all, whatsoever. What on earth is going on? He's not even shooting at anything. Oh man, low tier games. Finally they get him. Wow. What do you think he learned from that game? Oh man. Well, anyway, back to the cap circle. 3 of them in there. Capping is going along quite nicely. It's the Panzer 38, has most of the capture points. And oh, he's just left the capture circle. They've nailed the T-18. There's obviously somebody who's got eyes on them. The Panzer 38T left the cap circle to go and deal with that guy over there. So let's see what happens over here. He's got a shot on him. He's taken some return fire. The Panzer 38T was actually playing remarkably intelligently, but there's still somebody just worked him over with an autocannon. Now, this is the funny part. No, really, yes. This is the funny part, I know. Red 17 admits straight away that he's not the most amazing World of Tanks player. He's only played a T-26. they're capping, and he's capping. He's the only one left with any capture points. There's a bush right there, dude. Hide. What are you doing? You just saw the Panzer 38T get shot up. There's somebody out there. Get in the bush. You're in a tiny little tank. Look, there's bushes right there. Seriously. It's difficult to be too critical. He's only playing tier 2 tanks. This is as far as he's gotten on the PC version of World of Tanks. But he starts getting a bit cocky. Look at the cap. Oh, there he is. He's been spotted. He gives it GG. And artillery spanks him hard. And he's just sitting there thinking, why did I have to open my big mouth? Why did I have to say GG? Why did I open my big mouth? And then the best part is, as he's sitting there burning, the enemy team give him a GG right back. And they say nobody has a sense of humour. Here's a quick one for you. This is a skirmish mode match, tier 6. It's on the Hidden Village map. The usual selection of KV-1Ss, KV-2s, M6s, and the occasional FV-304 dominating the selection. What makes this one unusual? Well, no spoilers. Just wait until the end. Majority of the team are going north through the village, and only 2 tanks are going to head up, well, head south I suppose, to block the route into the friendly cap. KV-2 and a KV-1S. It doesn't take long before they spot the first couple of enemy tanks. KV-1S up front starts retreating, KV-2 moves forward to try to get a shot, then thinks better of it. They're down in the low ground over there, so they don't have direct shots at them, but they do now. KV-1S just took 2 hits. KV-2 fires, completely misses. KV-1S is gone, he's out of here. First tank dead. KV-2 now all on his lonesome. Multiple enemy tanks heading this way. He dodges a shot, keeps backing up, almost reloaded, and here they come. But oh look, he starts taking hits. Look what's happening at the other end of the map. Enemy team aren't aware that they're about to be capped yet, but any second now. And there it is. Now, they've got a bunch of quick machines on the enemy team, or if not especially quick, like the KV-1S and the M6, then certainly not slow. And they do have an FV-304, and that thing's fast. It is of course possible that the Dicker Max, because he's the slowest tank on the enemy team, he's going to be trailing at the back. He may have turned around to go back and attempt to reset the cap. But he's the slowest tank on their team. And nobody else had the sense to try it. And so with 8 seconds left to go before they've lost, the enemy team decide that they're going to win this one by trying to cap. And that's how this very, very quick skirmish match was won, by the team that did no damage whatsoever. So, we've had plenty of bad and ugly in this video. Where's the good, Jingles? Come on, show us some good stuff. Well, alright then. That, believe it or not, is not an SU-152, it's an ISU-152. It's a stock ISU-152 with the 152mm derp gun howitzer, and driving it is pointy-haired Jedi. This is his first ever game in the ISU-152. I should probably take this time while he's, driving into battle to point out pointy-haired Jedi. Some of you who watch Circumflex's live streams may already know him. We do platoon together with him very regularly. He's a thoroughly competent tank driver, and he's funny. He really does keep us smiling when we're playing. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's not far away from 15,000 subscribers, and he does plan to be doing a subscriber giveaway, giving away free tanks in World of Tanks when he reaches 15,000 subscribers. He's just a couple of hundred short, so good luck to him. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the video description, and I'll try to notify everybody, if I can remember, when he reaches 15,000 subscribers, to tune into his Twitch live stream so you can get the chance of winning yourself a freebie tank. Anyway, back to the game. Tier 8 match, regular Ruinberg, it's encounter mode. And don't forget, this is the first game he's ever played in the ISU 152, although to all intents and purposes he's just driving a slightly faster loading SU 152, the tier 7 tank destroyer that you get before this, because he's using exactly the same gun. The soft stats on the gun are going to be better, it's going to load slightly faster, it's going to have a slightly better accuracy and aiming time, but it's still bad. And there's his first target. The front of an AMX-48. He's firing high explosive. He's never going to penetrate. He's got some high explosive anti-tank ammo. He carries 8 rounds, but he doesn't touch it. He never uses it throughout this entire game. It's just 152mm cheap and cheerful HE derp all the way. And that's the sort of damage you can expect to do at the front of a thickly armoured target when you're firing the high explosive and it doesn't penetrate. A little bit of friendly team damage going on up there as everybody rushed in to be the one to finish the 48 off. Yes, it was that kind of game. It's not the last time you're going to see somebody carelessly damaging somebody in their own team in this match. Parks up next to the wreck of the 48, letting the rest of his team move ahead and try to flush out targets for him. He's reloaded, he's ready to go. Now, this thing, if it penetrates, you can do 910 average damage with this thing, but, you know, it rarely penetrates. It's high explosive. Side of an ARL-44, on the other hand, well, honey hammer racks him. He only had 85 health in the first place. Oh, Jedi, that was cheap, even for you. Still, you know, a kill's a kill. Incidentally, I don't know if you've noticed, and I've only noticed quite recently, that we now actually have a working reload timer during the replays. Previously it just didn't work at all, it just sat there on 0 seconds, but now it's fully functional, so that's good. Panther 2 down there, by the way, and he's just been immobilised, and did he penetrate? Did he not penetrate? Doesn't really matter when the tank you're shooting at only has 326 health left. 152mm of high explosive is going to kill him either way. So far, however, you know, you'd be entirely justified thinking, well, come on, Jingles, where's the good? It's just a stock ISU 152 driving around doing a couple of hundred damage here and a couple of hundred damage there and getting a cheap low health kill there. I mean, you know, what's so special about this replay? Oh, it's coming. In fact, here it is. Watch that T29. Yep, yep, that really happened. Let's watch that again. So we're just going to rewind it to right before he took the shot, and then slow it down, and here it is. 400 meters, 0.48 accuracy, 127mm of side armor, the barest sliver of the T29 showing for him to shoot at, and the shot he fired only has 86mm of penetration. How is that even possible? This is what happens in World of Tanks when you drive Russian. Russian derp guns. The KV-2 is exactly the same. I cannot explain it. It's as if my theory is that providing you've sacrificed enough dissidence to the ghost of Stalin, then Stalin himself reaches up from the depths of hell and guides your shot to the target so that it cannot miss. What? It could happen. Well, all right, you come up with an explanation. I don't know. It's the only theory that fits the facts. Yeah, that's my theory. Stalin does it. How come Russian derp guns? Because Stalin. Oh, Tiger 2. 80mm of side armor. He could penetrate here. So of course he does. But now he's pissed off the Tiger 2. Yeah, that's alright. Russian tank. Tracks eat the shot. And why did the tracks eat the shot? Come on, say it with me. Because Stalin. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it, because it fits the facts, and it's funnier. It's just... Oh, man. I don't know, there's just something about driving Russian derp machines. And this, of course, remember, is the very first game that Pointy-Head Jedi had played in this ISU 152. It's completely stock. Oh, there's another one. He didn't even aim. And why? Because Stalin. Why would you need to aim? Oh, God, no. Oh, look, hello, Mr. Super Pershing. Wasn't enough to kill him, but set him on fire. Why? Because Stalin. And then, in defiance of all the laws of world attacks, he takes a hastily aimed shot at a fast-moving target, and it doesn't automatically hit and one-shot kill him. I think at this stage he'd run out of political distance to send to the gulags, and so Stalin wasn't interested in anymore. He was going to have to do this the hard way. It is the last surviving tank on the enemy team. He does take a hit, but it doesn't really matter at this stage. The Jagd Panther driver just wants another kill, so Jedi feeds him a handy Centurion, pops around the corner, and then derps him right in the face. Boom! Headshot. Game over. First ever game in a stock ISU 152 with a 152mm derp gun, first class mastery badge, top gun, high caliber, bruiser, arsonist, fire effect, and demolition expert. Almost 4,000 damage done with the stock gun. What I found particularly amusing about this replay was that if you check the detailed results, you'll see that he also got some splash damage in. Yep, he actually managed to damage tanks that he wasn't shooting at. I'm not sure exactly when. I think it was when he killed the T-29. It looks like he may have also splashed the Super Pershing as it was driving past, and then of course finished him off later. I don't know. Technically, I mean, I don't know if this actually qualifies as the good in the good, the bad and the ugly, but it amused me greatly, so I'm afraid you're stuck with it. Well, I hope you had as much fun watching today's video as I did making it. There are days when I really, really love my job, and today has been one of them. There were some hilarious moments in today's replays. Hope you enjoyed them. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.